Democrat from South Carolina, the former House Majority Whip. 55 years ago, he was jailed for demonstrating against segregation in his home state. Steve McMahon is a Democratic strategist. Congressman Clyburn, thank you for coming on. Clyburn, what do you make of just your chance now to talk about Selma and the movie and everything? This whole commemoration is coming back now so strong.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Chris, and congratulations to you and your lovely wife. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Look, this is about celebrating 50-year-old issue of voting. Selma was all about the right to vote. You may recall, Selma came after the 1964 Civil Rights Act was passed. And President Johnson, thinking he had done enough with the Civil Rights Act, thought we could postpone voting for a while. But, you know, that old adage, justice delayed is justice denied. And so John Lewis and others, James Foreman, in spite of the fact that the movie Selma seemed to think that James Foreman really didn't want to do the march. He wanted to do the march. He just didn't want to be overlooked for all the efforts they've been putting into Selma. Things were taking place for a long time before Bloody Sunday. And they were working, laying the foundation to try to get the right to vote. And after that march, the Voting Rights Act was passed and signed into law, I believe it was August 6th. So come August 6th of this year will be the 50th anniversary, and I've been working with John Lewis, trying to do what we can with Congressman Sensenbrenner and Congressman John Conyers. We are trying to fix what the Supreme Court seems to have dismantled with that 1965 Voting Rights Act. I'm hopeful that when we leave that bridge on Sunday and go back to Washington in a week, that all the 98 Congress people who are there will all sign on to Mr. Sensenbrenner's amendments so that we can restore what the Roberts Court has done to that 1965 Voting Rights Act.
Well, Congressman, you've been through all this from the hell of the past to what we have today, but what do you make of these Republicans who, even though some of them are going to show up with you as your colleagues this weekend down in Selma, they're out there pushing all these voter suppression efforts, these voter ID card requirements. In states like even Pennsylvania, we have the leadership of the Republican legislature, which dominates the legislature, openly saying we're doing this to win votes because we can keep the African-American from voting, especially older people. It's going to help us win statewide elections. I mean, that seems to be completely in violation of the purpose of the Voting Rights Act, this game they're playing about voter ID cards.
It is in violation. And remember, just as 50 years ago, it took the United States Congress to respond in a way that was favorable to the protection of those rights. It may take that again today, because remember, these are 20-some-odd individual states who are doing those things. I would hope that Congress would not just fix with the amendments, fix the formula, but I would hope that we will go further with John Lewis's bill, the Voter Empowerment Act, to take a look at all of these schemes that they're now developing, schemes which, if you look at them, could be tantamount to poll taxes and other kinds of schemes that they used back in the 40s and 50s to dilute and deny people's votes.
Well said. Thank you so much. And it's an important weekend. I wish you well down there, Congressman Jim Clyburn, going down to Selma. Thanks so much for joining.